All right, truck's loaded up. It's the Friday before Wisconsin opener. Heading up north to do a little bit of glassing tonight. So here we go. Out the driveway, on the road. See you guys later. Well, I made it up north, up here at my buddy Kenny's trailer. And apparently I forgot my keys to his trailer. So I must have left them in my other truck. So I'm just hanging out here waiting for him to get here. It's starting to rain now, which is pretty cool. So I guess I'll sit in the truck and edit some video from North Dakota. So what do you think?
Good. You got some good pictures of those deer. It's funny how when you hunt different places, how you have to use different hunting techniques.
Just getting back to the road here. I did not see anything from the stand this morning. This is opening day morning. I did see 2 does and a fawn walking in that I kind of bumped out of here. But they were real nice about it. They didn't blow or nothing, so that was pretty courteous of them. Well, I'm not alone in the woods today. I just got to where I'm hunting this afternoon. It's getting a little late. I took a nap in the middle of the day. Got about an hour and a half to get to where I need to be and get set up. Yep. That's all I got to say right now. I gotta scoot. That's not good. Camera bag is soaked through. Get off of me. My boots are soaked through. So anyways, it's raining. It is not supposed to be raining. There's no rain in the forecast. I didn't even bring rain gear up this weekend, which doesn't matter. I don't mind being wet, but I do mind having my $2,500 camera get wet. I guess it's a good thing because I actually got to get on the road for a date tonight anyhow. So this will give me a little bit of a head start instead of being so late. I kicked up 2 deer walking in. I couldn't tell what they were as far as does or bucks. I'm pretty sure they were does, but they were big bodied deer, that's for sure. So it's possible that they could have been small bucks or something like that. And then while I was sitting, I saw off in the distance another deer that was a big bodied deer walking through some swamp grass. Oh, fuck. They parked the train on the fucking road. At least the train is moving. Hopefully it doesn't stop. So what this is it's a dead-end road, and the railroad tracks cross it. And if you're on the wrong end of the dead-end road, when they park these trains on these tracks, because it's near a rail yard, you're screwed. And I've tried to get down here in the mornings before, and they've had trains parked on the tracks, and I've parked on the opposite side of the tracks and left a note on the truck because it's all private property in that area that said I was hunting the public, and crawled underneath the rail cars with my tree stand and bow, and I walked down the road to get down to the public. So hopefully he keeps moving here. I could actually get out of here, because that would be funny. Tell my date, yeah, I can't make it because I'm stuck on a road, trapped by a train. I'm heading out right now for it's Sunday afternoon. I did not make it out this morning. I went out last night and it went well. So I did not make it back to camp last night. So I'm heading out this afternoon to hunt a piece that I have never sat in before. I've hunted this woodlot before, but never this side of it. So I'm found an area on the satellite that looks pretty interesting. Looks like a pinch point. So I'm gonna go set up on that and see what we see tonight. So it is Monday afternoon. I did not make it out this morning either. Last night I got some medical issues, some stomach issues that I have yet to figure out. But I spent the night puking, just trying to relieve the bloating. So I didn't sleep last night. So I slept in this morning a little bit, just trying to feel a little bit better. But I'm all good now. So I'm heading out to an area that it's an excellent rut spot, and I've hunted it probably a half a dozen times last year, maybe not quite that much, but I'm gonna go back there right now and get set up. We got a good wind for it, and hopefully get a little bit of action tonight. Just had a guy come in on me while I was just finishing getting set up, which happens. I mean, you're hunting public land. I've walked in on other guys. Had a lot of guys walk in on me, but the kicker of it is I got an access to this stand that I use because there's a dip in the terrain and I can get to where I'm at without being skylined. And of course, that guy just came in, you know, walking the edge of the terrain. So he just took the access path that I was intentionally avoiding taking. So that kind of blows. Well, the only words that are coming to mind right now are fuck. I don't know if I'm relieved or if I fucking am suicidal right now, to be honest with you. That, I guess I'll tell the story because I don't know how good the footage is really going to be because... So I'm sitting in the tree stand. It's like 10 minutes before close. And I got some coyotes out in front of me. I can't see them, but they're like 150 yards away. And they're absolutely just lighting up. And I'm thinking, well, I can't really see deer coming into that. But anyhow, I'm sitting there kind of waiting to get a shot at a coyote. And I hear a little bit of noise. And I kind of peer behind the tree and I can see a half of a rat coming at me. I didn't really know how big he was at the time. But I kind of turned back behind the tree and grabbed my bow and got that in my hand. And I don't know what that deer was thinking. But it should have stayed on that transition that it was working down that I was set up to shoot at for a 25-yard shot. But instead he come right to my tree from behind. So I got no shot. Camera arm is in the way on the one side. And he gets right to the base of my tree and he's smelling my chew spit. And he gets a little spooked and he kind of trots out at like, I don't know, 7 yards. And that's when I draw on him. But I'm like, I didn't really want to shoot him because he's a nice buck, but he's definitely a shooter. But it's early in the season. I'd like to shoot something bigger than that, and I really don't want to end my season this early. And I didn't have him on the main camera, and that's really one of my goals for all my kills now is to get it with the main camera. So I decided I was going to shoot him anyhow, though. But in that moment, I didn't have my camera is in the way to really get on him right. So he goes out to 25 yards, which I knew he would, so I wasn't in a rush. And he gets out to 25 yards, and where he stops, there's a tree blocking his vitals. So I got no shot there. So I got this little in between two trees. I'm hoping they would take a stutter step and stop again and kind of look around some more. But he didn't. And then the only shot I had was a hard quartering shot at like 30 yards, and he was down in the shadows over there. It was kind of dark looking through the peep sight at him, so I wasn't going to take a bad shot, So that's the story. But fuck, he's a pretty good buck. Hopefully I got the decent GoPro footage off my head, so you guys will at least have something to see. But I don't know if I've relieved I still got a tag or if I'm pissed at myself for letting him get away at the base of the tree. How do you let a deer get to the base of your tree and then let him walk away? Oh. Watch down here is where he's going to come into frame first.
Holy shit. That's right. No, something's up. He's gone.
Would you shot him?
Yes.
So I just got back to the truck. It is Tuesday morning. I went out this morning. I kicked up a little buck on the trail. Got set up. Saw, I don't know, 4 or 5 does. They were in the distance. I wasn't able to film them at all, but they were just running around. They were running from something. Nothing to do with me. They were way upwind of me. But didn't see nothing after that. On the walk out, I kicked up a couple of does. There's some pretty good deer sign in this piece, so it's pretty heavily traveled. So I'm gonna definitely hunt the same woodlot. I don't know if I'm gonna hunt the same area or not, but I'll be back this afternoon to try something out here. So here's the plan. I'm back in the same general area that I hunted yesterday afternoon, where I let that buck get away on me. And after reviewing the video footage of it, kind of glad that he got away because it's really not the type of deer that I want to kill this early in the season. However, there are some nice bucks in that area, so I'm going to go back to the same area. I'm going to push back to a different transition about 100 yards away from where I was actually sitting and see what the sign looks like back there, and most likely end up setting up back there because it looks pretty good on satellite. So I just finished getting set up here, and I'm a little closer than 100 yards to where I was yesterday. It's probably more like 75 yards. And I'm sitting down in the corner of this public where there's a nice little transition in front of me. And I'm thinking that this deer trail that's basically right underneath of me is that trail that buck came in on yesterday. So I think he came out of this private land right over here. Well, I just got back to the truck after Tuesday night's hunt. I saw a boatload of does. I only filmed one of them, but there were does crawling all over the place. But I didn't see any bucks. So, time to head home. Be back up next weekend, or at least somewhere next weekend. We'll see. I haven't decided yet. It is Wednesday afternoon. I just got out of work and I ran out to the local public hunting grounds. Now I'm parked in a parking lot down the road from the parking lot that I'm going to hunt right next to. Because one, I don't want to be shutting car doors and pulling off into the gravel right next to where the deer are bedded. And the other one is I really don't want people to know that I'm parked over there. So kind of being sneaky in two manners. So this area here is all bedding. We got a wind out of the south blowing this way. I'm gonna get up in that tree right there. Right now I'm just stopped because it's pretty quiet. So I'm waiting for some more cars to come down the road to block my sound coming through all these cattails. Tonight's hunt, only saw that doe, but I consider it a tremendous success because I've ground hunted that area in the past, but I've never set up in that tree. I was not sure if that tree could be set up in because it's kind of a crazy tree. But I was able to tuck the stand in there and it worked out great. It was concealed real nice and could have killed that doe if I wanted to. And I was pretty proud of myself because I did everything right. I was ready when she came out because at the time all I could see was grass moving. If she would have been a buck, it would have been game over. But even after she was in, she eventually did get to where my ground scent was. And being a smart old doe, some things just do not leave until they figure out what's going on. And she never did pick me out of the tree until after season closed when I started packing up. And she hung around the whole time. She was there for like 20 minutes. And I had my bow in my hand and I was ready, facing the other way still in case a buck came in. So yeah, it was a success. I did everything right tonight, even though there was no buck. Another thing I should mention was tonight when I got back to the truck, there was a game warden there waiting for me. And I talked to him, and I've had I've had probably 3 or 4 very positive interactions with the DNR, and I've also had 3 of them that were just horrendous. They were the biggest assholes ever for no reason whatsoever. And no, tonight was actually a dude was a really cool dude. He checked out my license and stuff, and then we shot the shit a little bit, and it was cool. He was a good dude. So he gave me his card. I'm gonna post the picture of his card because I know a lot of the guys that watch this channel are guys that I know, my friends and stuff. So I'll post the card because he's the warden in this area. He's been doing it 18 years. Nice dude. I'm walking through some private property right now, and this is an area that's always interested me. But I've stopped in this place a couple of times and nobody's ever been home. So I was driving by today and I seen a car pull in the driveway, so I followed her in. And it was this old lady. She was having trouble getting out of her car, so I helped her out of her car and brought in her groceries for her, and got permission to walk her property line back to the public. So it's kind of nice. Plus I get to scout this area that I haven't gotten to scout before because it's private. And behind me, you can see that's an apple orchard, and those trees are loaded with apples. So I might have to talk to her a little bit more about getting permission. I did ask her, and she's kind of hemmed and hawed, and I didn't really get a real answer. So I think it's okay, but I'm not sure. So I got to talk to her some more. Next time I'm out this way, I'll stop in again. But hopefully tonight's a good night. Just got back to the truck. I am fucking soaked. Walking through all that wet grass, my fucking pants are completely saturated. And I'm covered in burrs, which is fucking sweet. So, I gotta get a new weather app, because my weather app did not say it was gonna rain. I checked twice. And you could probably hear it on the truck right now. It's raining. It's raining pretty decent. It's not pouring, but it's raining. So, I worked my way back into an area that I wanted to set up in, and it was so overgrown and thick that it just wasn't doable. So I worked my way back into a point that looked like it would be a bedding point with a flat on top, oak flats. Acorns were dropping steady, so I was like, all right, they might come out here to feed. So I set up. And then it started raining. So I was pretty nervous about my camera because I've been playing Russian roulette with that thing for the last couple of years, hunting in the rain. And it got dark quick tonight. It got really dark. I checked my phone an hour before close of the season because I was like, man, it's dark. It's got to be getting close to close. And I still had a whole hour to go yet. So, about 20 minutes before close, I heard I had been hearing something to my right. First it sounded like a deer, or first it sounded like a squirrel, and then it sounded like a deer, and then it sounded like multiple deer. But I kept looking over there and I could never see nothing over there. And there was some leaf cover and stuff kind of blocking it a little bit, and I don't hear very well out of my left ear due to a hunting accident. So I have a little bit of trouble locating sounds sometimes, what direction they come from, especially with the rain. It was echoing off all the leaves and stuff, so I'm like, I can't tell. It keeps sounding like it's over there. So eventually, 20 minutes before close of the season, I heard a twig snap, and I was like, there's something there. And I saw it. There were 3 does that came out. I tried to film them with the main camera, but it was just too dark due to all this weather we're having right now. So it is Thursday afternoon, so I've hunted every day of the season so far, and I've seen deer every day of the season so far, so can't really complain about that. So there's been a little bit of a change of plans. Originally, I was planning on hunting locally down in southeastern Wisconsin this afternoon, and then shooting up north, getting up north around midnight tonight. We were able to get done a few minutes early today. So I'm shooting up north, and I should be able to make it up there in time to hunt this afternoon. If for some reason I can't, I'm going to just find a piece of public on the way and hit that. But I'm looking pretty good right now for making time. The traffic's going pretty decent. So this weekend, I am going to be hunting up by Cadott area. I'm hunting some privileged land this weekend. I got family up there that's got about 300 acres, and it's mostly fields, but I did run cameras on it. I ran one camera on it last year, and I picked up a pretty nice 9-pointer that I'd probably shoot, and this year I'd definitely shoot him if he's still around, and a real nice mature, he was a 14 last year, so he's a big old mature buck too, so hopefully he's still around. So I'm going to be hitting that, and then probably crashing with that chick that I met last weekend. So that is that. So I just got to where I'm the family's property here, and I've driven up and down it a little bit, just kind of scouting it from the truck. And we got a tractor rolling by right now. So I just looking at the satellite, I have not scouted this property much, so I don't really know much about it at all. But the weather app says that there's, man, this wind is not doing what it's supposed to be doing. The weather app says that there's a 30% chance of rain. So in my mind, that's a 100% chance, the way that my season's been going so far. So I got the rain gear on, we're ready for rain. And I am gonna work my way back. I'm almost changed my mind though with this wind. It's still a good wind, I guess, for where I'm going. It's blowing my scent into an area that I did wanted to avoid blowing it into. But I'm gonna walk this field edge and see what we got for tracks and stuff here and get set up. It's an amateur day out in the woods today. I forgot my saddle / harness with the truck, so I had to set up without it. Now I'm sitting in a crooked ass setup where the stand is wobbly without a harness because I'm an idiot. I'm overlooking this swamp. I made a lot of noise getting set up. I'm not planning on seeing much. But who knows? So that Friday afternoon, all I saw was that doe and that skunk. I didn't see anything on the walk out. So that concludes week 1 of the 2023 deer season. So a little over a year ago, one of my best friends from high school died in a motorcycle wreck. He was Walter to me. Some people he was Skinny. To some people he was Steven, but to me he was always Walter. And you know, when you're young, you always got those first stories of when you kind of met a new friend and you were It's always like near death or some crazy story or getting drunk or, running from the cops, some shit like that is always like the first memory of that friendship that you have. Well, me and Walter's was this one, and it was his favorite story. He'd always tell it every time we were sitting around drinking, shooting the shit. He'd always bring it up, and this took place. We were like 15 years old, and what we used to do is we'd tell our parents that we were going to go hunting, and that we were staying at my uncle's house, and no hunting ever got done. We would be partying out there. So this weekend we were out there partying, and there were some girls a little ways down the tracks that were having like a little slumber party thing in their backyard. They had a tent set up type deal, and they invited us over. So me and my cousin and Walter, we get on the back of the four-wheeler, and we ride the railroad track service road down near their house and cut down through the fields to get down by them. And we were, drinking with them and stuff. And before you know it, her older brother comes out of the house, and he's like, "You guys got to get out of here. There ain't no boys allowed over here," and stuff, So we take off running out the back, and I try to jump over this fence. They got a fence made out of like a 3 1x6s, and I didn't clear the fence, and I busted the top rail off this fence, and we're hiding out in the field. Her brother goes back in, and the girls give us all clear, so we go sneaking back, and we're drinking for quite a while, and before you know it, Walter's like gone. We're young. This is when we're just starting to learn how to drink, and he overdid it. So, we're out there, and girl's brother comes out again. He's like, "What are you guys doing back here? I thought I told you to leave. Call the cops. Cops are on their way." So my cousin takes off, jumps on the four-wheeler, and rips it away and fucking leaves us. And Walter is like getting like almost blackout drunk, He's like moaning and shit. I'm like, fuck. So I grab him, and I tried to throw him over the fence where I'd broken it, but I didn't clear it. So I threw him right through the fence again, so I busted the shit out of the next rail. And I drag him up to the tracks. I'm trying to get him up this embankment, but it was these big stones, loose stones, and I kept kicking out, and I could not get him. So I'm like trying to drag him through these stones, and I kept falling down myself. I was not sober neither, And finally, I just gave up. I was like, fuck it. So I put his arm over my shoulder, and I grabbed him by his belt, and I cut through some yards to get to the road. So I start walking the road. But, I'm young and I'm nervous and shit. But the cops are looking for us. So every time a car would be driving down the road, I'd take Walter and I'd throw him in the field, or I'd throw him in the ditch, and then I'd jump on top of him to hold him down, because he didn't hardly know what was going on at that point. So he didn't know to stay low. And finally get him back to the house and throw him on the couch. And then I went and crashed on the futon, And he wakes up in the morning. His glasses are all bent. His belt was broken from me pulling on it so hard, dragging him down the road. His pants were like hanging down. And he's like just all beat to shit, And he would always tell that story of like waking up just not knowing what the hell had happened. But he was a good dude. And I'll tell you what, the thing about Walter that stands out to me the most is, if he didn't like you, you fucking knew it. But if he loved you, you felt it. He never ended a conversation without telling you that he loved you. It's just he's just a good dude. So that's one lesson that I've tried to learn from that, is to always let the people that you care about know that you care about them.